What happens when a pride of lionesses comes face to face with a troop of baboons? United to the very end. Will the predator's strength prevail, or will teamwork change the outcome? Welcome to wild Kenya, where every confrontation can decide survival. Wild Kenya, the showdown between lionesses and baboons. Southern Kenya, on the Maasai Mara savanna. Dusk casts a fiery red glow across the vast grasslands. Dry winds sweep through the acacia trees, carrying dust from the cracked earth after months of drought. Although the sun has already disappeared, the heat has not faded. Temperatures remain above 35 degrees Celsius, making layers of hot air shimmer endlessly. In this still landscape, predators begin to emerge from their hiding places, marking the start of a long night where every step could decide life or death. Hidden among the tall grass is a pride of lionesses. Though they do not possess the majestic mane of the males, they are the true hunters of the pride. Their muscular bodies, nearly silent footsteps, and exceptional vision in low light allow them to approach prey with little chance of being detected. But even lions do not hunt recklessly. A minor injury can leave them unable to feed for days. That is why their targets are often the old, the weak, the injured, or those that have accidentally become separated from the herd. Not far away, on the high rocky cliffs, a troop of baboons begins leaving its refuge to descend into the grasslands in search of food. They are among the primates with the most complex social structures in Africa. The young are always protected at the center. The females care for the infants, while the adult males guard the outer ring, ready to charge in and defend the entire troop when necessary. Thanks to their alarm call system and their ability to coordinate closely, a mature troop of baboons is strong enough to make many predators abandon an attack. That is why lions rarely choose to confront an entire troop directly. At the edge of the troop is an old male, his body marked by countless scars from years of fighting for dominance. Age has slowly weakened his strength. Younger males constantly challenge, harass, and gradually take over the position he once held. In the end, the old baboon is forced to leave the troop. No longer strong enough to compete, he only hopes to find a quiet place to live out the rest of his life. But on the Maasai Mara savannah, solitude always comes with danger. Separated from the protection of his kind, the old baboon has no idea that every step he takes has already fallen under the watchful eyes of the lionesses silently lying in ambush. A sudden gust of wind changes direction. The old baboon freezes. The hunt is over. The pride has finally secured its first meal of the day. After the old baboon's death, the troop continues its daily life. The adults sit in small groups, carefully grooming one another. This behavior not only removes parasites, but also strengthens the bonds between members, keeping the troop united after hardship. As the sun climbs higher, the troop begins to spread out in search of food. They dig young tubers from beneath the dry soil, pick fallen wild fruits beside the bushes, and turn over stones one by one to search for insects. Their omnivorous diet allows baboons to adapt to long dry seasons when food becomes scarce. High above them, a family of giraffes is quietly feeding. The mother calmly browses on fresh shoots at the tops of the trees, while her calf patiently learns by copying each movement. With their long necks and flexible tongues measuring more than 40 centimeters, they can reach through sharp thorns to pull out nutrient-rich leaves that very few other animals can touch. In the world of giraffes, patience and height are the keys to survival. In a nearby clearing, a pair of secretary birds slowly stride through the sea of grass. They usually live in pairs and patrol vast grasslands together in search of insects, rodents, lizards, and snakes. Their long, powerful legs not only allow them to move easily through tall grass, but also give them the distinctive appearance that makes this iconic African grassland bird instantly recognizable. Meanwhile, high above, a martial eagle silently circles on rising columns of warm air. With a wingspan of nearly 2 meters and eyesight several times sharper than that of humans, it misses almost no movement below. As the sun gradually disappears beyond the horizon, thousands of bats emerge from their roosts at once. Within moments, the sky is filled with wings heading toward the forests in search of ripe fruit and nectar. Amid the chaos, the eagle suddenly folds its wings and dives at astonishing speed. Its razor-sharp talons lock onto a bat. The victim has almost no chance of escape. Without stopping to enjoy its catch, the eagle quickly beats its wings and returns to its nest high in the treetops. Inside, the eaglets call out continuously. For them, every hunting trip their parents make is another guarantee of surviving and growing up in the harsh wilderness of Kenya. Back with the baboon troop. Over the following days, they continue crossing the savannah along their familiar routes, maintaining a tight formation to protect the young and keep watch over every movement around them. But in the Maasai Mara, lions are not the only threat. Hidden in the sea of grass lies a leopard. Smaller than a lion but quicker and more agile, it is one of Africa's most formidable solitary predators. Its coat, covered with rosette-shaped spots, blends almost perfectly into the golden dry grass, while the soft pads beneath its paws allow it to move with almost complete silence. Unlike lions, which rely on the strength of a pride, leopards hunt alone. Every hunt demands absolute patience. Sometimes it remains perfectly still for dozens of minutes, waiting for a single moment of opportunity. If successful, its powerful jaws and ability to drag prey heavier than itself into a tree help keep the kills safe from hyenas and lions. For a leopard, speed is not the most important thing. Surprises. Today, its target is the baboon troop. One baboon falls behind the rest of the group. That is the opportunity. The leopard bursts from the grass. A perfectly timed pounce knocks the baboon to the ground before it can react. The predator quickly clamps its jaws onto the prey, preparing to drag it into the bushes. But the alarm calls have already sounded. Within seconds, dozens of adult baboons charge in from every direction. They roar, bare their sharp canine teeth, and relentlessly close in on the predator. Several individuals even rush forward and bite back, forcing the leopard to retreat again and again. In the end, the leopard is forced to abandon its kill. It springs backward into the bushes and quickly disappears into the golden grass. The baboon troop remains gathered around their companion, letting out a chorus of loud calls as a warning to any predator still lurking nearby. On the Maasai Mara, a successful hunt does not always mean keeping the prey. Sometimes the strength of an entire group is enough to reverse the outcome in just a few seconds. But the leopard is not the only predator that rules these grasslands. Across the vast Kenyan savanna, every species has evolved a different strategy for survival. Some rely on speed, some rely on teamwork. And some need nothing more than a single patient moment to decide the fate of their prey. On the distant horizon, a cheetah stands silently atop a termite mound, its eyes fixed on a herd of Thomson's gazelles ahead. No land animal can match its speed. Its slender body, spring-like flexible spine, and long balancing tail allow the cheetah to accelerate from 0 to nearly 100 kilometers per hour in just a few seconds. But nature always demands a trade-off. Under the scorching Maasai Mara sun, that speed can only be sustained for a very short time. If the chase lasts longer than a minute, its body temperature rises so rapidly that it must abandon the hunt before collapsing from exhaustion. If the cheetah is the symbol of speed, then the African wild dog is the embodiment of teamwork. Beneath the shade of an acacia tree, the entire pack gathers before another hunt. There is no leader giving commands. Nor does any individual act alone. Every short call, every wag of the tail, and every glance serves as a signal, allowing the pack to function as a single, unified machine. It is this teamwork that has made the African wild dog one of the most successful hunters in the animal kingdom. But in the Maasai Mara, strength comes from more than speed or numbers. It also lies within the jaws of the spotted hyena. For many years, hyenas have been viewed as nothing more than scavengers. The reality is quite different. Most of their food comes from hunts carried out by the clan itself. What makes the spotted hyena remarkable is not only its hunting ability, but also its incredibly powerful jaws, capable of crushing even large bones to reach the nutrient-rich marrow inside. In an ecosystem where food is always scarce, the ability to utilize almost every part of a carcass has made the spotted hyena one of Africa's most successful survivors. Farther downstream along the Mara River, an entirely different survival strategy is unfolding. The surface of the water is so calm that few would realize one of the planet's oldest predators lies beneath it. Only the eyes and the tip of the snout of a Nile crocodile quietly break the surface. It can remain perfectly still for hours, even days, waiting for a single perfect moment. At the riverbank, a herd of Thomson's gazelles cautiously approaches to drink. They repeatedly raise their heads to scan their surroundings before lowering them again. Just one moment of distraction. The water suddenly explodes. The crocodile launches upward with explosive power, clamps its jaws around the prey's leg, and drags it straight into the muddy water. The ambush is over so quickly that the rest of the herd has only enough time to turn and flee. Over millions of years of evolution, that strategy has remained almost unchanged. Because sometimes, in the wild, patience is even more terrifying than speed. Every species has its own strategy. Every species has its own role. And together, they have shaped the Maasai Mara into one of the most spectacular and unforgiving ecosystems left on Earth. Across the vast Kenyan savanna, there are no permanent winners. Lions with overwhelming strength, baboons with unwavering teamwork, leopards with unmatched patience, and Nile crocodiles silently waiting beneath the water. Every species has its own survival strategy, yet all must obey nature's balance. In the Maasai Mara, life and death are not opposites. They exist side by side, sustaining one of the most extraordinary ecosystems on the planet. Yet that balance is facing growing challenges. Climate change is making droughts across East Africa last longer, rainy seasons increasingly unpredictable, and water more scarce. As a result, many animals are being forced to change their feeding behavior and migration routes that have existed for thousands of generations. Human pressure is also increasing. In July 2026, several conservation organizations in Kenya once again brought legal action in an effort to stop the construction of additional resorts inside the Maasai Mara National Reserve. Scientists fear that unchecked development will shrink wildlife habitat and disrupt the world-famous migration route of more than 1 million wildebeest, zebras, and many other grazing animals. Protecting nature is not only about protecting individual species. It is about preserving the rivers, grasslands, acacia woodlands, and migration corridors that have sustained life for millions of years. If you love nature and want more stories like this to be told, please subscribe to the channel, share this video, and join us in protecting the last great wild places on Earth.